Hello, I'm Benny Westside, and welcome to my spoiler talk of What If Captain Carter Fought the Hydra Stomper, the fifth episode of season 2 of What If. This is going to be a spoiler discussion. I've been doing these for every episode daily so far, and I plan on doing that. So if you enjoy the discussion, I hope you consider liking and subscribing to keep up with the rest of it. And then at the end, once the season is over, I'm hoping to gather a panel to discuss the whole season with my friends, with a couple of my friends. Yeah, so I'd love to see you there. Anyway, let's get into this episode. I really liked this episode. Captain Carter and Hydra Stomper were two of my favorite characters from last season, and I was very happy and excited to see both of them. And I was looking forward to it once I saw the episode title. So it was exciting. They did recreate a lot of famous MCU moments. That was nice. We had the Battle of New York. This time the team was Thor, Captain Carter, Black Widow, Iron Man. I think Hawkeye was there, and then Wasp. Interestingly, no Hulk. I feel like Hulk was kind of essential in that battle, but anyway. Um, what was interesting was even though they finally put Wasp on an Avengers team, it wasn't her leading, which in the comics, I believe Wasp was the first. Well, that was Janet Van Dyne, but Wasp was the first ever leader of the Avengers. Anyway, that was interesting. Even though Hulk wasn't there, later on in the episode, they did mention Banner. So maybe he's just a scientist that works with the Avengers, or I don't know. I don't know. Or he was incapacitated for the Battle of New York somehow. Yeah, that wasn't clear to me. Another thing that I want to make clear, because I spent like at least 2/3 of the episode trying to figure this out in my brain. In the last episode of last season, where they all come together, Captain Carter and Black Widow really have a moment. Captain Carter says like, I had a really good bond with the Black Widow in my universe, and for some reason in my mind I thought her Black Widow had died. And when, because I know that the Watcher put that like the Guardian of the Multiverse Black Widow into a universe where a Black Widow had died, but I had thought it was this one, but that she went to the one where Michael Douglas kills everyone. So this Black Widow that you're seeing is the one native to this universe that Captain Carter had already friended. Then she went off to do the arc from last season and then came back, and this Black Widow was still here. That took me a while to remember in my head. I don't know if it was the same for you, so I wanted to clarify that. Um, anyway, so they recreated that moment from Avengers. Then they recreated a moment where in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow comes and picks up Captain America from the Washington Monument or the National Mall. And in this one, it's the opposite, where Captain Carter picks up Black Widow. So that was interesting. Anyway, what happens is they're faced with the Hydra Stomper. So the roles are like twisted. In this universe, Bucky Barnes ages into his role and he's become Secretary of State. Captain Carter is the one that freezes, and Steve Rogers is the one that gets recruited into an evil organization, like the Winter Soldier was. So Hydra Stomper gets plucked into or Steve Rogers gets plucked into the Red Room program, and somehow I think they fuse him with the suit, and it's keeping him alive. It's an interesting situation, and he's completely brainwashed. But of course, once they realize it's him, both Bucky and Peggy try to turn him, which this is the third episode so far where people try to appeal to somebody's emotions. to me that bit's getting a little old. I gotta tell you, but anyway, uh, they, Captain Carter tries to, uh, awaken the true Steve. It seems as if Steve's mission is to kill Bucky, but no, he was actually trying to trick Peggy to come to the Red Room. That way, either the Red Room can test on her or, uh, kill her, whatever. And then they go there. It's this like recreation of an American town. It's like the very mid-century, what Russians would have seen from a movie type of America. It was really creepy. These robots, I thought that was really nice. The scene where the three of them, Natasha, not Bucky, Steve and Peggy are walking, and there's like this beautifully painted background. The animation was amazing. Then the robots start attacking them. Hydra Stomper turns on them. Then the Black Widows show up. Their leader here is the Iron Maiden. I had no idea she was gonna show up. It was amazing. They actually got Rachel Weisz to return to voice her. That blew my mind. I wouldn't have expected that, but anyway, she was there. That was really cool. And oh, she looked so hot. She like drops her coat at some point. Her silhouette. It looked beautiful. It was an amazing scene. She was very menacing and cool. She had these like metallic soled shoe, or like the whole shoe was metallic. Every time she took a step, it was clunking as if I don't. It was cool. Like she was the Iron Maiden. That was nice. Then like they split off into fights. Captain Carter and Hydra Stomper are fighting, and then the Black Widows are trying to kill Natasha Black Widow. One of the weird thing, I'm gonna say it wasn't weird. Like in our universe, like the main MCU timeline, her friends call Black Widow Nat or Natasha, but Peggy kept calling her Widow, which to me felt weird, especially because Natasha was calling her Peg. At the very end, she called her Nat, but I thought it was weird throughout the episode. Anyway, they're fighting. There's some cool action. They actually recreated one of the scenes from last season where Peggy like braces a truck thrown at her and like throws it behind her. That was nice. It was a cool callback. One scene particularly where Natasha hides in one of those like fake American houses, and the widows start shooting into the house. So like the wall is this like sieve of light, and then they come into the house and they're fighting with their silhouettes against this like almost, it looks like a starry night almost. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. That like fantastic animation. Then let's see. What happens is at some point Peggy's like, oh, okay. Black Widow disables, stuns all of the minion widows, and it's just her and Rachel Weisz, Iron Maiden, left, and our Black Widow's injured, so like Rachel Weisz has the upper hand, and then at this point Peggy's like, I'm not gonna fight you anymore, Steve, and she like drops her shield. That animation was very similar to how Steve Rogers dropped his shield at the end of Civil War, like the way it lands next to his foot. That was cool. This season so far has been a lot of callbacks. I'm liking it. I don't know if some people think it's reductive. To me, it's nice, and to be able to say like, oh, that's that scene. That's that piece of the puzzle. They're remembering this. To me, it's fun. It's like a little scavenger hunt. I guess it's an egg hunt. We're looking for Easter eggs, so that's nice. Anyway, and then she like again tries to appeal to his emotions and like awaken the true Steve. Okay, maybe on their own. For each episode, it's fine. I wonder if the episodes were kind of done by different teams because they like so far. I think this is the third time that this has happened. So anyway, Hydra Stomper's like he doesn't say anything, but I guess he realizes he's doing something bad by being part of the Red Room. So he flies up. It's obvious that he's gonna like shoot through the Red Room satellite building thing and like break it apart, similar to how Captain Marvel broke through Thanos' ship. Black Widow sees this, shoots like a Batman, like a grappling hook gun at Hydra Stomper. Somehow, the grappling hook is faster than the Hydra Stomper. Whatever, okay. And it like hooks his foot, and then she attaches it to the Iron Maiden and Milena, and like as the Hydra Stomper is flying up towards the Red Room, Milena gets dragged up with him. Then he breaks the Red Room. It falls down. Peggy, shields herself and Natasha, and then they run to safety. When I said shield, there was a scene back when Hydra Stomper is seemingly trying to kill Bucky Barnes, Secretary of State or Defense, whatever. Peggy just like, there's like this very tall stairwell in the Triskelion, and Peggy like just jumps directly down with the shield facing towards the Hydra Stomper. That was really cool. It was a really nice action shot. Anyway, actually, come to think of it, this episode could have been a fun one to recreate the elevator fight, but I guess they did that in Endgame, so that might actually have been reductive. I don't know. I love that scene anyway, so. Okay, so Peggy comes back. They're back at, I guess, the Avengers compound, whatever. And Peggy's like, oh, Steve is out there. I gotta go find him. And then Nat is like, okay, I'll come with you. And they're gonna go on like a girls trip to find Steve. But suddenly a portal opens up and Peggy gets sucked into it. And before Natasha can go with her, it closes. And Peggy finds herself probably in an alternate universe or in the past of her own universe. It's unclear, but there is Wanda's there. She's the Scarlet Witch. It is Elizabeth Olsen. And with her, there's like a guy. So it could have been Scarlet Witch plus Merlin, but in the credits, Elizabeth Olsen is credited as Merlin Scarlet Witch. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. It does look medieval, and they're talking about how this is sort of like an end credits scene, but it's literally right at the end. It's tacked to the end, so there's no credit in between. So it is more of like an ending scene. It is a teaser. It's a cool one. Anyway, so between them, the Wizard and Wanda are saying she can help save our king, and then Wanda says she can help save our world or something like that. Anyway, and then funny part, Peggy starts calling for the Watcher. She's like, Watcher, Watcher, as if like, I guess he is omnipresent, so presumably he would have known or heard. Anyway, it was cute. I would say, like, she's buddies with him from last season, so she's like, okay, this is farther than like calling for Nick Fury's help, so I gotta call for this multiversal entity. That was, I don't know, I liked it. Oh, also in this episode, I glanced at the overlay and I saw over there Runlow, who was Crossbones, but he just had very minor role. even though Frank Grillo came back to voice him. It was a very minor role. He wasn't Hydra that we know of. Maybe he was, but he was just like a shield grunt basically. But it was nice that he came back. Yeah, that's about it. Very beautiful scenes, very cool action. Iron Maiden looked amazing. I loved that we got to see more of Captain Carter and Hydra Stomper. I'd love to see more. I'd love to see Hydra Stomper in live action. I'd love to see Captain Carter again in live action where she doesn't die and kicks more ass. I think I would give this episode like an 8. This is great. The last 3 episodes have been really solid. I mean, all of it has been great. I'm enjoying this season. And now that they're starting to tease whatever's coming down the line, it's getting spicier, and I'm looking forward to it. Each day cannot come sooner. Each next day cannot come sooner. Anyway, it's fun. I hope you're having fun too. If you want to keep having fun with me, I would love that, and I would hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one.